The Brian Gould Show features content from the internet and current events throughout the world. All photos, videos, names, and other content is for entertainment purposes only. Please don't fall asleep. It's rude.
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Brian Gould Show. Not only does the perks of working at Amazon come with really good health benefits, even though the company did lose a lot of money this year, but you also get to do yoga on your lunch break, and if you're into that whole droid flying thing, you can crash them into coworkers that you don't like or hate and blame it on the wind. It's okay to do that. Speaking of being outdoors, another great thing that you can do in your off time, something that I enjoy doing, is going for a little stroll. Go down your favorite path, soak up some fresh air, soak up some sun, and then this happens. Oh man, I hate when that happens. Damn biker came out of nowhere. I grew up in northern Michigan and this type of stuff happens all the time. You're driving down the road, cruising along, and out of nowhere, boom, Santa's little reindeer flies out of nowhere. You total your car, and the last thing you really want to do is actually call your insurance company and say, hey, I totaled my car. Well, what happened? Deer ran out in front of me. What you actually want to do is just let your insurance run out, get a new car, start over fresh. Trust me, it's worth it. High insurance premiums are not worth paying. With Christmas right around the corner, though, next week, I'm actually considering not buying gift cards for all my family members and friends. This year, guys, you're going to get some awesome t-shirts. Check them out.
Here comes the rope. I'm always calm when I'm trying anal. Let me get a quick lick of that little Who loves jizz addicts or jazz addicts? I always love DTFers. My aunt loves me too. I'm sure of that. Oh, hey, you're full of poo because you are poo. See you next Tuesday. I always smile when I see a MILF. Foo you. And always anal in the middle. Yeah, of course. And who doesn't like a little super sperm? The one that always gets through.
Okay, so maybe the tongue t-shirt isn't all that offensive, but it's the placement of the tongue. Seriously. Maybe it's not the placement of the tongue. I'm okay with it. Either way. Now, up in Indiana, Goodwill was receiving some donations, of course, and a couple of white boxes popped up in a velvet bag. As the worker was taking everything out, she opens up the box. What's in the box? Grandpa. Opens up the other box. Grandma. What do you mean, Grandpa and Grandma? Ashes. Cremated ashes, yes. Well, Goodwill did the right thing, of course, and they contacted the person that dropped off the boxes and gave them back. What I'm surprised is the whole non-profit juggernaut didn't clear room off on a shelf and stick those boxes up there and just start their own, like, used fertilizer section. I mean, I could use fertilizer. We all could, I'm sure, somewhere along the way. Not a big deal, but you know what? It happens. Last night I was flipping through the channels and I actually stopped on C-SPAN because I thought C-SPAN and the inbreeding channel got crossed, and this is what I found.
Let's go to
This is
Joy.
Steve's show, Dallas.
No, go to Joy in Raleigh, North Carolina. Good morning.
Hey,
to
somebody
you,
from
Joy.
down south.
Well, you're right. I'm from down south.
Oh, God, it's Mom.
And I'm your mother. And I disagree that all families are like ours. I don't know many families that are fighting at Thanksgiving.
Okay, down here in the South, I now live in Florida, and there's still a hardcore base that actually says that the South will rise again, and their whole right to bear arms and all that BS. Well, guess what? Google search bear arms rednecks, and guess what you find? Yeah, the mom of those two hillbillies that were fighting it out on C-SPAN, Inbreeding Channel, whatever the hell it was, and that's what you get. Guns and the South rising and everything else. You know what you have, South? You have SEC football. That's all you have. Your power conference is only 10 years young. Yes, you've reigned and dominated the last 10 years, but college football's been around for almost 200 years, and you don't hear anybody else crying about how big their conference is. Yes, I say crying. And if you're offended by this, redneck watching right now, maybe you shouldn't be watching. Go back to your coloring book and go color whatever it is you're coloring. But you know what? It's not going to end up on your mom's fridge because elephants aren't supposed to be orange. Stupid. Missouri's in your conference. And that's not in the South, is it? Man. Rednecks, SEC, who knows? They frustrate me. Anyways, you know what's worse while you're standing in line at the grocery store? What could possibly be worse than that? You're darn right. That's horrible. If my little kid pissed off the guy in front of me and I had to get out of line because he's now crying because he got drink poured all over him for being a little a-hole slamming his cart in the back of that dude, yeah, I'd be a little mad too. Not only do I have to listen to him all the way home, I got to change him and then go back and find my stuff and get back in line all over again. Man, kids, you can't... Speaking of moms that just can't get it right, this lady in Saudi Arabia had a real big issue with her iPhone. The issue was she wouldn't ever answer her husband. Her husband actually divorced her because he was calling her and texting her and sending her messages on the WhatsApp app, and she just purposely wouldn't answer him, saying, "I'm too busy with my friends." Well, guess what? Saudi women, you're to be seen, not heard. You are to listen and not tell. It's a wonder that she's still alive. I'm sure she isn't after this video, because now that it's hit mainstream all over the news, Saudi women won't be allowed to be touching iPhones ever again. Oh well. Speaking of third world countries that don't know what the hell they're doing, this weekend are you guys going to go out and see that movie about that little plot to kill that one guy that's got those two guys in it? Yeah, probably not. You know why? Because it got canceled. And if you haven't heard it that yet, then you just heard it now. The interview, canceled. Not coming out. So, Mr. Kim, since you are unofficially running Sony Pictures, can you do us all a favor? No more sex tapes. Please, no more. Also, give Spider-Man back to Marvel, because they do a much better job with the movies. And one more favor, Ghostbusters 3 that's coming out very soon is supposed to feature women, and they already have to screw everything else up. Don't let that thing hit theaters either. Hit the button on that one and send it, away. Gone. Whatever. Now, if all else fails, if you can't do any of that for me, then please, just get me some good courtside tickets with you and Dennis at the next basketball game over there. It's a sport that you guys can't play, that you try to play, and it's just like everything else that you attempt to do. You suck at it, except for running Hollywood right now, of course. So, thank you for that. And let's end it on a really good note. There's a woman in Portland that opened up her own cuddle business. It's really cool. She charges $60 to cuddle. Cuddling includes spooning, rubbing your hair, rubbing your head, holding hands, and passionately being all close and next to you. Now, if you're going to make money doing this, where I come from, it's just called prostitution or escorting, more or less legalized, except you keep all your clothes on. A little dry humping never hurts anybody, but you know what? I'm all for it. If you can make money cuddling, by all means, knock yourself out. Thank you for watching this edition of The Brian Gould Show. A little bit different spin on it this time around versus my other episodes. Go back and watch them for some good sarcastic humor. Also, up here in the corner, there's a little red button. You can barely see it, but it says subscribe. Click on it. Tell your friends. Share this with everybody. Helps me out. Also, like me on Facebook, and if you don't do the Facebook thing, check me out on Twitter. All else fails, there's Instagram. I put up funny picture of the day. Some really cool things come up and go and all that other stuff on that great social media juggernaut. And visit thebriangouldshow.com. I've got a store over there. You can get some really cool t-shirts. Christmas is around the corner. And a few other gag gifts. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Brian Gould. Of course, it's Brian Gould. It's Brian Gould Show. See you next week. We'll end off the year with a really good end of the year in review. And maybe you'll laugh, maybe you won't. But, again, rednecks, there's no such thing as orange elephants. See you next week.